Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. Today, as part of Concept of the Day series, we are going to discuss about 5th and 6th scheduled areas. So we'll understand what is the difference between these two and why we have separate mechanism in these two areas, along with the recent demand of Ladakh for 6th scheduled status and how far it can be true in the present situation. We'll understand these things along with the practice question. So first, let us understand. Before that, we have an important announcement for those who are aspiring for UPSC Group 2 examination, which is about to be conducted in the month of January. So as you know, date is clear. On Jan 5th, there is going to be UPSC Group 2 mains examination. And for that particular examination, if you want to increase your score or if you want to boost your confidence, this is the right time to enroll in a test series which is about to start from 11th November in Ekam Academy. 18 sectional tests, 3 grand tests, and along with this there will be a detailed explanation copy and subject experts are going to prepare this. So this will show you the true picture and how the examination paper will be there, so you can tune in with prepare advancement also. And then this course will be available only at a price of 999, and along with this we are also providing 6 months current affairs in advance. That is also one offer included as part of this package. So today, as part of Concept of the Day series, we are discussing about the 5th and 6th scheduled areas. Now let us understand what is the background. So I'll explain in the form of a differential format so that you can easily understand, right? So we have 5th schedule and 6th scheduled areas, right? So now let us understand. So if you take the map of India, right? So if this is a map of India, you know most of the tribes are in central India and southern India and some parts of western India also. And on the other hand, if you take this is a map of India and we have northeastern India also where most of the tribes are living, right? So during the colonial times and before that also, some tribes who are living in this part of central India and southern India, they have some contact with the mainstream society. That means like Hindu caste groups or any other group, okay, who is a non-tribe, they have some contact, okay. So that is also evident from different mentions in Ramayana and Mahabharata. We have Shabari, we have many other tribes who are actually involved in this epic stories also. That is showing that there is some contact, right? So, but whereas if you see in the case of northeastern region, so these tribes are completely isolated. They didn't have any contact with outside world, even in the case of Andaman in these areas also. Right, that is the reason. So in 1919 or Montague-Chelmsford reforms, there is a mention that these are backward tracts. Okay, so backward tracts means which are mostly left isolated. So comparatively, they are somewhat they are maintaining some contact, but these are relatively isolated, you can say. But here they have mentioned really backward tracts. Okay, really backward tracts is the name which they have used for present 6th schedule areas. Then this naming got changed in 1935 Government of India Act as excluded areas. So partially excluded areas. Partially excluded areas. Okay, so then here it was named as excluded areas or wholly excluded areas. So that is how the naming got changed. Just naming got changed, nothing much in the administrative mechanism. So finally, after independence, there is a committee constituted here called A.V. Thakkar Committee. So this A.V. Thakkar Committee has been constituted with respect to minority issues, subcommittee you can say, under the Constituent Assembly debates and all. So this committee has recommended that there should be a separate mechanism in the scheduled areas, and we have incorporated in the form of 5th schedule. But here, in the case of present 6th schedule areas, Gopinath Bardolai, who was from Assam, so he has recommended there should be complete isolation. That means in the form of autonomy, there should be. Autonomy means here we are giving self-governance in the form of 6th schedule, right? So here we are trying to provide one type of administrative mechanism. Okay, so a special type of administration is generally seen compared to the other part of the country, but here we are completely giving self-governance. That is what you have to understand, right? So then how many states are part of this? Means 10 states. So what are these also? We have Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, then Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, and we also have Himachal Pradesh, AP and Telangana. So these are the 10 states which are currently under the scheduled area status. right? So then article that deals with fifth schedule is 244 clause 1, right? Then this is 244 clause 2. Then how many states are part here? Only 4 states in Northeast: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, AMTM we call, right? These are 4 states. Then what are the criteria to form under fifth schedule? Is 4 criteria are there. So at least 50% of the population should be tribal population. Second, the tribal population also should be compact, mean they have to be close together, right? They should not be like scarcely populated somewhere in there, and they should also be backward, and that area in which they're living also should be economically backward in comparison to other areas. If these 4 criteria are met, then any area can be marked as a scheduled area, right? Then what happens if an area is marked as a fifth scheduled area? Means there will be a constitution of Tribal Advisory Council in this particular region. Who will constitute this? It is by the state governor. So what is the main job here? The name itself is suggesting Tribal Advisory Council. That means this council will advise governor on the issues which the governor refers to that particular council. So this council will consist of 20 members. Out of 20, 3/4 members will be coming from ST MLAs, okay, scheduled tribe MLAs from that particular state, and rest of the members will be nominated by governor. So what is the main thing? That means here the governor is having more powers, and he can decide what has to be done in that particular scheduled area. That means with respect to land, he can pass a particular law, or with respect to liquor, with respect to money lending, everything also he will be having the authority. And you know, with respect to administration in the scheduled areas and in local self-governance, we are implementing a separate mechanism in the form of PESA Act. Right? So PESA means Panchayat Raj Extension to Scheduled Areas Act 1996, which was incorporated on the recommendations of Buria Commission, right? So Buria Committee in 1995, they have recommended. In 96, we have enacted PESA Act. So that is the administrative mechanism in the scheduled areas. Then coming to 6th scheduled area, as I just told you, we'll be having autonomy given to these 4 states because these states are completely different and they have high tribal population and a different cultural identity also. So for granting autonomy, we are also ensuring self-governance, and with the name of self-governance, we have created autonomous district councils and autonomous regional councils. So these councils will be having legislative powers, and they'll be also having financial powers, and they'll also have judicial powers. So what is legislative power? They can make laws in with respect of land. Who can control the land? For example, they can even allocate any land other than reserved forest to that particular community, or they can restrict land alienation, or even they can restrict money lending, or Gram Sabha in these regions, okay, will be more decision making authority. So they may also decide who has to actually extract the minor minerals from that particular region, or who has the power to issue money lending, or these type of activities like that. In that particular way, we can ensure that it is Gram Sabha. That means we are ensuring democratic decentralization. Then with respect to marriage, inheritance, divorce also, they can pass their laws so that that will be in sync with their customs, traditions and culture. Then with respect to financial, they'll also have the power to raise some money through imposition of some taxes. Then coming to judicial, they can maintain their traditional judicial systems, but any appeal from their traditional systems will be lying with the High Court, State High Court. So in this way, we are trying to ensure that they are maintaining a separate government in their own regions, right? So although they appear to be more autonomous, but in terms of actual realization, if you see, they are only remaining on letter. Most of the time, states are not actually transferring that much autonomy to these 6th schedule and 5th schedule areas. So lack of funds, and governor's role is also in question, and the role of Gram Sabha is also for the namesake, right? So many a times the Gram Sabha's role, although it is becoming more powerful, but it is just remaining on the paper. In this way, there are certain limitations also in implementation of 5th and 6th schedule areas. Now, why the 6th schedule area status or demand was asked by Ladakh means, you know, post reorganization, Ladakh has formed as a union territory, and even when it was part of Jammu and Kashmir also, large part of funds went to Jammu and Kashmir only. So Ladakh is deprived of development according to Ladakhis. So now they wanted to preserve their own culture, identity. Ecology is also very much important as part of their livelihood. So they wanted to preserve their culture, ecology. So for this, they want sixth scheduled area status. That means they want self-rule for themselves. So if there is any like dilution in this regard, like let us consider if there is no sixth schedule, then what happens? In the name of administration, any government official will come there and he'll start a project. So without the approval of the locals also. Then what happens? If that is happening, this encroachment of outsiders into their areas may again disturb the ecology and their culture, and they may lose their identity also. That is why Ladakh is asking for special status in the form of sixth schedule, so that they will have their own rule. That means locals only decide what is good and what is bad for themselves. In this regard, they're asking, but central government said we are not in favor of granting sixth schedule status as of now. So this is the update regarding Ladakh and the recent demand for sixth schedule. Now let us see the practice question given yesterday. With reference to the zonal councils, consider the following statements. They were established under the States Reorganization Act of 1956, correct? Prime Minister is the common chairman of all zonal councils. No. As I told you yesterday, it is Ministry of Home Affairs who is the chairman of all zonal councils. So second statement is wrong. Union territories are not represented in the zonal councils. Not is incorrect, because yesterday also we have discussed 2 ministers from union territories also will be the representatives. So this and this are incorrect. Then they are only advisory in nature. Yes, 1 and 4 correct. Only 2 is the option. Then let us see the practice question for today. Consider the following statements regarding governor of a state. He or she holds office during the pleasure of president. Constitution mandates a governor for each state, with no 2 states having same person as a governor. Constitution does not provide any qualifications for appointment as governor. Among these, which you feel is the correct one, try to put your answer in the comment section. Then, as part of the concept of the day series, today we have discussed about 5th and 6th schedule areas. So I have tried to cover as much as I can in the shortest possible time. If you want any more topics from my side, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try definitely to cover those topics as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. All the very best.